Hi Jeff, how are you doing today? Glad to see you back.
Hi, Miss Sabina. I'm doing okay.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling a little bit better, but I'm still not 100%, I guess.
Okay, I understand. Okay, so just a few things. I first wanted to start out with something we do. It's called setting the agenda to prioritize some of the things that we're going to talk about and some of the to work on some of the issues that we're having and kind of doing it step by step. Okay. So, what are some of the things that you would like to talk about today?
Well, some of the things that have been, I guess, bugging me have been my wife, and, I've been feeling angry at times.
Okay, and what about the jobs? Were you able to apply to any jobs?
Have not really been going out and still haven't had a chance to do that.
Okay. All right, so I kind of wanted to get an update then from you past week. How have things been going as far as you said with the jobs?
Yeah, I've been trying, but sometimes I feel like, I'm not good enough, or, I might not get an interview or a call back or something, so I get discouraged,
Yeah, I know. I see. Well, that's what we're here for, and that's what we're gonna be working on together. So I think it's good for us to get to know each other and kind of address these things together, right?
Sure.
Okay. So
I'd like that.
is there anything you would like to add? You would like to add to the agenda or today, or?
I think that's good for today.
Okay. All right, Jeff. All right. So throughout the session, you'll see me writing down some things, and that's just to help me remember some of the important things and just to make sure we cover everything. Okay?
Sounds good.
Okay. Okay. So, based on the evaluation and the initial assessment, it showed that you had a diagnosis of depression. And now I just want you to know that you're not alone. It is very common, and people sometimes think that there's not a lot out there to help them, but there is. And one of the things that we will be doing in our sessions is cognitive behavior therapy. Have you heard of that before?
No, I haven't.
Okay, that's all right. So what we'll be doing is kind of looking at some of the way your thinking and thoughts and feelings are, and kind of pinpointing them and looking at the distorted thinking that you're having, and looking at things that looking at them and finding ways to look at it in a more realistic way. Okay, it's based off the cognitive model. So we're gonna be looking at your thoughts and seeing why you may be feeling like the way you do. Okay?
Yeah.
Are you okay with that?
Sure.
Okay. Good. Now, do you remember a time where you felt like you felt really negative and weren't able to do anything, or?
Yeah, I'm sure I could think of a few times.
Okay. Like with your job?
I mean, it's, I think, a little bit of everything, but my job is one of them for sure, Like I said, just trying to get applications out and just motivating myself to do so, it's just not able to, just get discouraged.
Yeah, I see. Now, do you think that maybe if you if something helped you remember that this is not normally, this is not you're not being yourself, that this may be a symptom of the depression. Have you thought about that?
I haven't thought about it, but reminders are always beneficial.
Well, I'm glad you said that, Jeff, because how about maybe, like we were saying, one of the things that you can do is remind yourself that you can do things, and it's just hard for you right now because of your depression.
I think it's worth a try.
Okay, all right. So how about we put that down? We use something we call coping cards, and it's kind of, you can write a thought or feeling or something to remind you throughout the day or night that this is not how you should be feeling. This is just in the moment, and that you can overcome it. And these coping cards are really helpful. So what would you like to put down on the coping card every time you might have a negative thought?
I don't know, it's kind of hard to think of stuff right now, like kind of, how I'm feeling and stuff, so
Yeah. Okay.
it's hard not to think negative,
I understand. So how about I help you out?
Sure.
So let's say you are trying to apply for a job, and you just feel unmotivated and not focused and sad. So maybe we can put that. You can, every time you feel like that, you can look at the card and remind yourself that this is just my symptoms of depression, and I can do things that make me happy, and that this will pass. Okay?
Okay.
Does that sound good? Is that something you can think about? So when do you feel like you would look at the card most?
Probably first thing in the morning.
First thing in the morning? Okay. So I'm going to write that down. You're going to look at the card first thing in the morning. And usually it just takes a minute, 2 minutes to read it through. And I think that's something that we can try. See that it will help you, okay?
Sure.
It's just it's just one step at a time, and I think this is hopefully something we can work on, okay?
Yeah. I don't mind trying.
Good. Okay. I'm good we came up with that together, okay? And if at any point you do feel like it's too overwhelming, or you just can't do it, then I'll make the homework optional for the week, okay? Okay, good. Now, since we don't have a lot of time, I think you mentioned you were also having some problems with your wife.
Yes.
And you also said anger issues.
Sure.
Now, is that something that we can take a look at next week?
Yeah, I think I'd rather next week, one step at a time,
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I'll put that for next week. So just to make sure we have enough time.
Okay.
Okay, Jeff?
Sure.
Okay. All right, Jeff. So before we end, I kind of wanted to do a little summary of the things that we discussed today. So you mentioned that you weren't able to apply for jobs this week. You're still feeling unmotivated and down. And we initiated the coping cards, and that's something that you're going to be trying every morning. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And I know we also talked about some of the anger and issues with your wife. And are you okay with talking about that next week?
Yeah, I think so. I'd like to go one step at a time.
Okay. Very good. All right. So let's see how that goes, and we can focus on that a little more. I also wanted to get some feedback from you as well. Is there something that you're uncomfortable with, or is there something that you want to, just Any feedback that you can provide me about
Well,
how you're feeling?
I'm still kind of not what I feel like is myself, but I know I want to feel better. I want to work towards that, and I think this is a good first step to that.
Right, well, I'm glad, Jeff. I'm glad you feel that way. And I know we're going to be working towards these goals, okay? So I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. And I hope you do well, okay?
All right, thank you, Miss Sabina.
You're very welcome.
I appreciate your time.
You're
You have a good one.
Thank you. See you next week.